Okay, welcome back to day number 27. There's still a lot of smoke and fire everywhere. But to be honest, yesterday was the brute force of being very nervous about it. Today, it's kind of now turning to normal, and honestly, we're safe. It's just ashes falling from the sky, and everything's orange and red and black. So it's scary, but the fire is 20 miles away and they're still fighting it, so we're gonna be okay. We're gonna keep going and living a normal life and not freak out. Okay. So today, like I said, 26. I wanted to do this yesterday, but because of everything, I was so panicked that I didn't. And now it's gonna be on YouTube forever. Yay. But I really want to do hamstrings. So usually every day we incorporate some sense of hamstrings anyways. But today I want it to be our focus. So if you're someone who really wants to touch their toes, then this is going to be a great one for you. And I just want you to keep in mind that anytime we stretch out our backs of our legs, always keep a bend in your knees. There's no reason to lock your legs out unless your body can do that. Otherwise, keep a bend in your knees. It saves your low back and it saves your hamstrings. So that's all I have to say for anybody who's new here. We are Mobility Duo and we do personal training, physical therapy, yoga, massage, etc. for athletes, specifically snowboarders and weekend warriors. So boom, there's our little jingle. Let's go. Also, P.S. we're at the in-laws' house, so different background. We are going to start standing on our mat, and you probably can't see my upper half, but that's okay. We'll be bent down most of the time. So just coming into a standing position in the back of your mat, and then just take an inhale up with your arms. Come up to your tippy toes, reach for the ceiling, and exhale, fold at the hips. Notice I keep that bend in my knees. And we're just going to breathe here for a second. So bend as much as you need to get your fingertips on the floor. So bend maybe here, maybe more, doesn't matter. Just keep that bend and breathe. And then go ahead and relax your head and your neck, and you can grab each elbow, but keep your eyes open, that way you don't fall over. And again, just breathing here. Keeping that bend. And then you can bring your fingertips back to the floor as we start to straighten out one leg, bend into one knee. So back and forth, bend and straighten. And breathe, and breathe, and breathe. Beautiful. Perfect. And when you're ready, keep that small bend. Find that stillness again without bending. And we're just going to walk our hands out. So again, bend your knees as much as you need to walk your hands out into our first downward dog. Stretching out the back side of the leg again. Again, we can bend into one knee, straightening out the other. Breathing, pressing the ground away with your upper body. Spreading your fingertips nice and wide. Taking your time, pressing one heel down and breathe. And let's go ahead. We're going to take the left leg up to the ceiling. Now try to keep your hips square here. So we don't want to flail open that hip. Keep it square with the other and just bring that left leg up as high as it will go. And allow your right heel to go down to the ground as much as it can. Again, it doesn't have to touch. Just breathe here for a second. Now we're going to open up that hip, bend the left leg, bend the left knee, and letting that hip open up. It's good to feel that difference. Then bringing that left leg back into that three-legged dog, square off your hips. And let's just bring core tight, core, left leg in between the hands. And breathe. From here, we're just going to drop the back knee to the ground, that right knee. And then we're going to start to straighten out that left leg, sitting back. Try to get your front leg toes to heel. So really flex the foot. And then we're just going to hinge at our hips, leading with our chest to our toes. Breathe. And walk your hands forward, back into that lunge. We can press into that hip a little bit. And let's press back again. Straighten out that leg. Hinge over, chest to toes. And walking forward one more time. Press into that hip a little. And bring your hands down onto the ground. Bring up that back leg off the ground into that lunge. And then we're going to send it back into a downward dog. So same thing on the other side now. So leave your left foot on the ground. Inhale, take the right leg up. Maybe it's a little different. Mine is. And try to square off your hips. And then remember, it is the first one of the day, so be easy on yourself. Breathe here. And then start to open that hip, bend the right knee. Breathe. And bringing that hip back into that three-legged dog, squaring off your hips, really feeling the stretch on the left leg on the ground. Woo! Calves and hamstrings. And then breathe as you keep your core tight. Bring your knee to your nose, right foot in between the hands. Place it down with control. Breathe here for a second. You can wiggle back and forth. And drop that back knee down to the ground. Extend that leg, folding, hinging at the hips, not just at the spine, chest to toes. Breathe, stretching out that front leg. And walk it back into that lunge, pressing into that knee, into that hip, opening up your hips a little bit while we do the hamstrings. And press back, straightening out that front leg, toes to shin, fold, chest to toes. Breathe. And again, walking forward into that lunge, bringing up that back leg into a high lunge. Breathe, wiggle, and send it back into a downward dog. And let's just do a quick vinyasa really quick. So shift forward into a high plank, either lower down on your knees or from here, slowly, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Okay, left leg comes up into a three-legged dog. Breathe. Send that left leg through the hands, core tight, into that high lunge. And then from here, we're just going to do a little hop. So put your weight into your front leg as you hop the back leg up. So we're a little bit closer here. And now we're folding over that left leg. So maybe your hands are on your shin, maybe they're on your thigh, up here, maybe your hands are on the ground. Like wherever you are, it doesn't matter. So notice how I still have a little bend in that front leg. And just again, leading with your chest to your toes, folding over that front leg, really feeling it in those hamstrings, and breathe. And weight in that front leg as you bring the back leg back, and we're now in that lunge. We're just going to go between those two a couple times. So breathe here. And weight forward. Hop that back leg forward. Fold. Little bend. Not locked out. We keep that bend here. And breathe. Again, no matter where your hands are, is perfect. We're still going to feel that stretch. So you don't need to be all the way down here. And bring it back. Right leg back into that lunge. Do you notice how good my ankle's doing? It's still a little swollen, but it's workable. I'm so happy. Let's do it one more time. Rules of 3. Here we go. Hop forward, weight in that front leg, fold. This is called extreme side stretch. Breathe. Beautiful. Go ahead and bend into that front leg and step that back leg back. And we're going to do it on the other side. So press the ground away, back into our downward dog. Breathe. And let's do a vinyasa. So shift your weight forward into a high plank. Core tight, elbows sucked in. Slowly lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, going for that other side. Right leg comes up into that 3-legged dog. Hips are square. Sending that right leg between the hands, core tight, into that lunge. Breathe here. And we're just going to put our weight into the front leg as we hop our back leg forward. Start to straighten out that front leg, but again, keeping that small bend. And stay in that fold. Maybe one side is different for you. This side's always easier for me. My splits on my right side are way better. And breathe. And shift your weight forward, bend into that front leg, send that back leg back into that lunge. Breathe, chest proud. And again, we're gonna hop forward, weight in that front leg, into that extreme side bend. Wherever your hands are is absolutely perfect. You're absolutely perfect. I don't care what anybody says. And let's go down again into that lunge. Breathe. And let's go last time. 3rd time's a charm. Coming all the way back up. Weight in that front leg and then landing, weight in both as you fold again. Extended side stretch. Front leg. Keeping that bend. I always have a bend here. Breathe. And last time, lean forward into that front leg, send that back leg back, hands on the ground. And instead of going down into that downward dog, we're actually just gonna pivot. So pivot into that skandasana on the right side. Side lunge, other words. So we can put our forearm on our knee, pressing into that side a little bit, opening up the hips, and then straighten your legs out. Going into Skandasana on the other side, left side. Breathe. And let's straighten both legs out. Again, pigeon toe your feet a little bit. And then hands on your hip as you hinge forward, bringing your chest to the ground as you fold. And maybe just hands on the ground right here. Maybe hands stay on the hips. And you feel it right here. Nothing's wrong, as long as it doesn't hurt. If you ever feel pain, get out the same way you came in. And fold a little bit more no matter where you're at. And if you feel safe and you want to try, we can bring our hands behind our back, interlace the fingers. Only if you feel safe. And breathe. And to release your hands, bring your hands to your butt first, and then release them. Bringing your hands back onto the ground. Press the ground away. And just from here, we're going to bring our toes out, heels in, but staying in this position. And then we're just going to bend into one knee, straighten out the leg, and then bend into the other knee. Just kind of going into Skandhasanas right here. Maybe if you feel like this is difficult or your knees are coming in, maybe bring your feet a little bit closer together. Still breathing. Beautiful. And now we're going to end in Skandhasana on the left side. So right leg is straight, left leg is bent. And we're just going to take a seat. Find your seat. Maybe you need to put your hands behind you. Doesn't matter. And then, hopefully our hips are open enough. If you feel pain in this one, get out. If you don't, stay. Drop the left knee down to the ground. Now we're going to face our right leg. Again, if you feel knee pain, it's because your hips are not open enough. And get out of it. Just do some of those Skandhasanas side to side. If this feels comfortable for you, chest up. Start to fold. Hinging at the hips. Chest to toes. Breathe. Toes to heels. Or toes to shin. Beautiful. And pressing back up, opening up that hip. You can do it with hands or try to do without. Coming into that Skandhasana and going into it on the other side. Letting yourself down. Again, if this is painful, just do the Skandhasana side to side. Maybe do a wide-legged fold the whole time. Just breathe. Do what you can do. Don't hurt yourself. And allow that right knee to come down. Now again, chest proud, folding over that foot. Whew. Way tighter than the other side. And breathe. And if you want and you feel safe, you can play with the ankles of that foot. Breathe. Nice. And release, bringing that knee back up. And again, with hands or try without. Whoo, pressing up into that Skandhasana. Yes. And wide-legged stance. Pigeon toe your feet if you're not there already. Hands on the hips, hinge forward, chest to ground, fold. Maybe a little bit more. From here, we're going to grab both hands to the right leg. Then start to bend at the left knee, really stretching out the right side over here. Hold on to your leg like you don't want to let it go. And release. Slowly walking your hands to the left foot. Hold on to it as you bend into the right knee. And breathe. Nice. And slowly walking your hands back to center. Press the ground away. Hands on your hips as you hinge all the way back up. And then we're going to bring our feet facing the front of the mat into that that high lunge. Sprinter's lunge, words. So hands beside the feet in that lunge position. Breathe. And press the ground away, press back into our downward dog. And breathe. Keep a little bend in your knees here if you need to. Pressing one heel down to the ground and the other. And then we're just going to slowly walk our feet to our hands. So if that means bending your knees to do so, please do. And then once you get here, keep that little bend in your knees. And then we're just going to grab the back of our ankles. And so bend your knees as much as you need to grab the back of your ankles. Have your chest sitting on your thigh. Breathe. Now, we're going to hold the back of our ankles here. Try to keep your chest on your thighs as you slowly start to lift your hips to the ceiling. And don't pull so much to where you feel pain. But once you feel where it stops, just stop. Keeping your chest on your thighs and breathe. Breathe. And release your hands. Staying in that fold though, a little bit less intense. You can grab each elbow if you like. hanging here. And bend into your knees more as we're going to come up one vertebrae at a time.